Many people struggle with gut symptoms for years without answers. If you've been told it's just IBS or worse, it's all in your head, I want you to stick with me because what you're dealing with could be something called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and it's often misdiagnosed as IBS. In fact, up to 80% of people diagnosed with IBS may actually have SIBO. That's a huge number. So today we're going to break it down. What is SIBO and how it hijacks your health? Why IBS is often just a label, not an answer. And most importantly, how to get on the road to real healing. So let's dive in. Your gut isn't just a tube that processes food. It's a living ecosystem. You've got trillions of microbes working inside of you to help digest food, produce nutrients, even balance your mood, and just keep you healthy overall. Most of these microbes live in your colon, where they belong, but sometimes they move into the small intestine where they don't normally live. And once they're in the small intestine, they start to ferment on food you're eating, producing lots of gas and bloating. The gases produced are methane and hydrogen, and that's SIBO. These gases not only produce bloating, they can also affect your liver, contributing to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Because the symptoms are similar, a lot of people have been told they have IBS and have been handed a medication. But the real issue, an actual bacterial overgrowth, is never addressed. Once you understand that, you can stop chasing symptoms and start fixing the root cause. Here's something most people don't know. You've got a second brain in your gut. It's called the enteric nervous system, and it talks to your real brain through the vagus nerve. One of the vagus nerve's biggest digestive jobs is regulating something called the migrating motor complex, or MMC. Think of it like your gut's janitor. It sweeps bacteria and debris downward out of your small intestine and into the colon between meals. If that sweep doesn't happen because of stress, constant snacking, or even trauma, bacteria sticks around and starts to multiply. And that's one way that SIBO starts. The MMC only kicks in when your stomach is empty. And that's why spacing your meals and avoiding late night snacks is more important than you think. SIBO doesn't just happen randomly. It's usually the result of a combination of factors. Impaired motility. The MMC isn't doing its job. There are two types of motions in the intestinal tract, peristalsis and propulsion. Those are the two movements. Let me explain. Peristalsis starts when you eat food. It's a muscle contraction that moves food from the mouth through the colon. Propulsion's different. It happens from your stomach and small intestine, where it pushes food through your digestive tract, so when you wake up in the morning, you have a colon elimination. That's the purpose of it. It's called the house cleaner of the gut. Low stomach acid can be another problem that's caused by antacids or just aging. Poor bile or enzyme production. Food lingers and ferments in your upper small intestine, creating these gases. You have sphincter dysfunction. Weakened valves that allow the backflow of bacteria from your colon to move up into your small intestine. Diet is another reason for SIBO. High sugar, high carb diets feed the overgrowth. Once you understand the why, you're no longer at the mercy of the symptoms. You're in control. So what are the symptoms? SIBO and IBS symptoms often overlap, and that's where the confusion starts. So look for bloating, especially upper abdominal bloating up here, constipation or diarrhea, which swings back and forth. You get gas, cramping, abdominal discomfort, fatigue, and brain fog, nutrient deficiencies, especially B12, iron, and vitamin D, because that bacteria is eating your vitamins and minerals. Malabsorption, leaky gut, and even non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's time to take a deeper look. The good news, SIBO can be reversed, but it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, and it needs to be addressed sooner rather than later before it gets out of hand. So here's my two-step strategy. Step 1, remove the overgrowth. Starve the bacteria. Remove sugars, alcohol, beans, starchy vegetables, and high-sugar fruits. Stick with lean proteins and non-starchy veggies like leafy greens, peppers, cabbage, tomatoes, zucchini, and mushrooms. Hold off on prebiotics and probiotics for now because they actually feed the fire. Basically, avoid anything that ferments. Use herbal antimicrobial herbs like oregano, thyme, clove, and black cumin seed oils. Look for a formula with ingredients that support the liver like milk thistle, dandelion, and artichoke. Add gentle, insoluble fibers like chia, flax, hemp, and pea fiber to keep things moving. Insoluble fibers don't ferment, so they're great for SIBO. Step 2, rebuild the gut. No lying down for 3 hours after your last meal. Slowly introduce fermented foods and probiotics once symptoms improve. Heal the gut lining with a formula with 6,000 milligrams of L-glutamine and soothing herbs like aloe vera, ginger, and marshmallow root. Support the vagus nerve, cold compresses. Connect with nature. Focus on slow breathing and stillness. Space out meals to give your MMC time to work properly. SIBO healing isn't about suppressing symptoms. It's about restoring function. These are mechanical and biological imbalances, and with the right support, you can fix them. Be sure to download my SIBO Relief Guide and like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Healing starts with knowledge, and your gut will thank you.